Chris, how we doing today?
Hey, Spencer, how are you?
Good. How was your weekend? How's your week going?
Fantastic weekend, and week's off to a good start.
Why don't you explain for people who aren't familiar with the company, what does SRAX do?
So we've built a platform that allows issuers to understand who's buying and selling their stock at any given time. So you as an issuer can log into our platform. You can see who bought your stock, what they paid for it, how long they've owned it, what their name is, their address, their phone number, their Facebook account, their LinkedIn account, their Twitter account, and you're able to email them and SMS them through our platform. It provides a variety of other tools for the issuers themselves, so the issuer can manage all of their warrants, manage their employee options. They can do predictability about their shelf availability, how much availability they have to take down off their shelf if they have it, and a bunch of prediction tools around that. So you can predict when it might be the best time as an issuer, when to raise capital. And then we provide a variety of other services around that platform. So we have close to 200 companies that are on this platform. And so around 200 companies, issuers use our platform to manage all of their activity. And once they have that data on who all these shareholders are, then they're able to go in and create marketing programs to reach those shareholders. So they could tell them information about the company itself, what you're doing. A lot of people think that everybody sees all of the data that a public company puts out. A lot of people don't see it. So we provide a bunch of tools that help those public companies market themselves out to investors and to manage everything they need to from a public company perspective.
Wait, hold on though. There's no way you can see all those charts behind you.
Yeah, I can actually.
You can actually, you have like the brain power to compute all and like understand all those charts. How many charts is that?
Well, you're only seeing, there's some more over here too, but we have around 200 clients, so we like to watch them all. So we own stock in most of our clients, and so we have around close to $30 million worth of cash and stock, and so we keep a close eye on all of our clients and look what's going on in each of their companies.
Who's a typical client?
Any kind of NASDAQ or OTC client. We have 200 customers that are out there that use us to manage their entire process, and their CEO, CFO will come in, log into the platform, and it'll show them who sold that week, who bought that week, who are the retail investors that are buying, who are the institutional investors that are buying, where are they holding their shares, where are they keeping them, are they buying and selling? Because there's filings that have to happen within the regulatory part of the SEC around institutions, but they try to hide out and they don't want people to know what they're buying and selling. So we've helped unmask where those people are holding their shares, what their movement is intra-period between the filings that they have to make.
I just want to be clear, when you say shareholders, what kind of shareholders are you talking about? You're talking about like institutions or retail?
Both. So on the retail side, we can see every individual shareholder that's out there.
Really?
So like when we started working with, say, somebody like a Genius Brands, they had 3,000 shareholders. Now they're close to 400,000 shareholders. And so we can see all of those shareholders, the name, the address, the phone number, the LinkedIn page, Twitter page of all of those people. And then we provide the tools for those companies to be able to communicate with those shareholders.
Wait, I didn't even know that information was available.
It is. Yeah, well, they license the platform from us. They pay us a monthly fee, a monthly SaaS fee to access our platform, and then they can get this data. And then we also own a conferencing software that allows them to throw all of their quarterly calls and their shareholder meetings and things of the sort right from the platform. And then we own a conferencing company. We bought a company last year called LD Micro that does 2 of the largest microcap conferences throughout the year. This last year we did one in December. We had 100,000 retail shareholders show up over a 2-day period to get exposure to all of these companies that are on the platform. And now we just put our press release yesterday about a list of around 7 other conferences that we're doing this year.
So you're the data provider, or I guess the data platform. Where do you get that data from? Or unless maybe you can't say.
We buy it. We buy all the data from all of the custodians of the information. Public companies have the right to buy that data from the market makers. Yeah. So we have the agreements in place to execute on that and to buy that data. So, but you can't get it without being the company itself. So, if you wanted to see who the SRAX shareholders were, you couldn't go get that information. Only SRAX can get that information.
Okay. Are there other? Do you have peers? Are there other firms that do this, or I don't know of any.
No, there's some big players out there like that are IPREO and NASDAQ have a product that is very institutionally oriented. Okay. And our roots are born out of the marketing, advertising, digital advertising space. So all of our infrastructure that we've built over the years has been about ingesting data around specific audiences and then figuring out how to create digital marketing opportunities to that audience. So it's a much different approach than, just looking at which institutions own Tesla quarter to quarter, right? Like, I don't really care who owned my stock in December when I'm reporting in May, right? Like that lag period is so significant that I just don't even care what happened in December, right? So I need the ability to see that data in more real time. I need to see that data quicker. I need to see it faster. And that's what our software provides, is the ability to see it, to be actionable. So that when somebody, you have a day when your stock's up big, you can look into our platform and say, where did that come from? Where did that buying happen? Was there a big institution stepping in? Was there big retail investors that were stepping in? What happened in this process?
And then I guess in theory that would allow the company to be able to respond in a more efficient manner, right? To price spikes or drops or whatever, anything.
Yeah, and it also allows them the ability to communicate with these people, right? So if just think about any of these companies have been going crazy lately, and the amount of retail base that has come into those stocks that are driving the price action in those stocks. What if those companies could grab all of those retail names, all those retail investors, and create marketing programs to target those people with information about the company, public information that everybody knows, but keep it in front of those people that are day-to-day trading in their stock, and they know these are people that have owned their stock in the past. Yeah. So this is what our tools do, and it provides a better communication platform for the institution or for the issuer to be able to communicate with those shareholders.
I'm curious what the last 11 or so months have been like for you, because there's obviously been this explosion in retail trading, really, I mean, in the last year, but really also in the last like 3 to 4 months specifically around GameStop and other things. What has the last year or so been like for you? Because I'm imagining as retail interest in the market goes up, so too does demand for a product like yours.
Well, it's been incredible. The product has grown substantially over the last year. We're up to close to 200 issuers on the platform now. Last year at this time, I think we had around 50 or so. So it's grown very, very quickly, and it's not stopping. It's continuing to grow. Sales went from, we just had our biggest sales quarter ever. We announced we sold $10 million in the first quarter of this year. We raised our guidance for the year from 16 million to 23 to 25 million dollars for the year. And we think that could even be a conservative estimate. So yes, it's had a big impact on us, but the tools that are built inside the platform are not only related to the retail investor. It helps a public company in general and everything that they need to do. And that's why we built it, because I needed it as a public company CEO, and it wasn't out there. And so we built it to accommodate everything that we needed to do. And that's how the product was born. So yeah, this last year has been absolutely amazing, and we think that the rest of this year, if the beginning Q1 was incredible with 10 million in booking, Q2 is already off to an incredible start. So let's see where if we can get to the end of Q2 at the same pace, we should well outpace the high end of our guidance.
Here's a good question from the chat right here. From Adi wants to know how the data that you provide, is that helpful to investors at all?
It would be very helpful to investors, and we've had a lot of hedge funds and a lot of high net worth individuals that have wanted to buy the data from us.
Yeah.
But our product is highly focused around issuers, and the data that we get is only available to the issuer themselves. So we can't share that data with any investors. Now, the publicly available data, like we've built some tools around the shelf availability of a company and when they might be raising capital off of their shelf and doing another capital raise. And we've done some predictions around when those companies might be tapping that. So that's a product that could be very valuable for the retail investor in investing in the market, because a deal's ultimately coming down and you might see some price pressure against that.
Tell us about Big Token. That's a wholly owned subsidiary, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we've started a couple of different companies inside SRAX over the years. We started a medical business that we sold to a PE firm a few years ago. We had all the doctors in the United States in our platform. Then we started a company called Big Token, which allows consumers to own their own data. So you as a consumer can own all of your own information. And this thing has just taken off. It has a lot of engagement with it. And the stock we've put it into its own public company. We own around 64% of the other public company right now. Our piece of that company, we own 149 billion shares of this thing, and it's worth around $2 billion. Just our piece of Big Token at where it's trading today. And obviously that's it's a crazy valuation for the company. They have a valuation up in the 3 billion plus range, and so if we can ever monetize that piece of that asset that we've created, it'll be a lot of cash for the investors inside SRAX.
And it trades on the OTC markets, right?
It trades on the OTC, but it trades a lot. I mean, it has trades anywhere from 10 to 25 million shares a day. It's pretty active. The symbol is FPVD. So Frank, Paul, Victor, David.
Yeah, I'm looking at the volume now. It is pretty active. I can confirm. I'm pretty familiar with volume activity on the OTC markets, and for a stock that on that market, that's a pretty good amount of volume. It's interesting because Big Token, in a way, I mean, it does like predate the NFT thing, but it's the same exact concept, right? As monetizing your stuff and yourself.
Yeah, so it's more about monetizing your own data. So it's like you are an NFT, right? Like Big Token, you are your own NFT, and you can take your data and sell it out in the marketplace. And so people can then sign up onto the platform if they download the Big Token app and do it. Then over time, they start to earn cash, and you get paid hard cash. And they're setting it up so you can get paid Bitcoin and different cryptocurrencies inside the platform. And we've hired a great team over there that's managing that project. And it's spinning it out has enabled us to be 100% focused on the Sequire business inside of SRAX, because that business is growing so fast that we want to make sure we're 100% focused around the issuer side and providing data to public companies, because that business, we've gotten profitable now. So without the Big Token piece, we had EBITDA positive and net income positive numbers for the business without Big Token. And so they're off with their own P&L and their own balance sheet at this point. So they're able to make their own moves without having to depend on our balance sheet. And while their numbers have to flow through us for a little bit until we get under 50% ownership, which should happen here, hopefully within this year, then they'll be off on their own, and our shareholders will benefit from both companies.
What type of data are we talking about, really?
For the consumer?
Yeah.
So you log in, it asks you a bunch of questions like, what do you like? What do you do? You can connect your bank account, your your credit accounts, and you get points for connecting all of these different things together. And then it tracks your location. You allow it to track your location. So then all your location data is available. Excuse me. And then all of that information is then put into segments, and those segments are then created for advertisers to target. It doesn't get sold to advertisers. Nobody gets their hands on your data, but advertisers can target those segments. And they have some really big brand advertisers. They have, the creme de la creme of brands that are buying data from them. So they should do well this year. And it was time to move them off into their own public company so that they could be on their own and have a clear story about, it's a play where people own their own data, and SRAX is a play that is helping just issuers and dealing with retail and institutional investor data.
Yeah, that makes sense. So on the one hand, you're enabling the companies. On the other hand, your subsidiary at least is enabling individuals. So it goes hand in hand in that way. Before we let you go, any big important upcoming catalysts that people need to be aware of, I guess, for either company?
Well, we just had our earnings call, which was a big deal for us. It was first time we were able to show that the tremendous growth that we're having inside of SRAX. I mean, the revenue grew over 300% for the fourth quarter. And given the guidance for the year, we gave guidance of the second quarter for $7 million, $5 million we had given for the first, which we're going to hit, $7 million for the second quarter. So we're, the catalysts are just continuing to grow the business and stay profitable, and on the Sequire side, and hopefully be able to monetize some of our big token asset in within the next 3 to 6 months.
All right, Chris Miglino is the founder and CEO of SRAX. You see the ticker up on your screen this entire time. Chris, get back to those charts, man. You got a lot of charts behind you.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, man.